It was one of those afternoons at the Queen's Open that had all the makings of a classic. The crowd was buzzing, the tension on court was heavy, and every single point felt like it could tilt the balance. Iga Swiatek, world number 1 at the time and one of the most admired players in tennis, was right in the middle of it all. Known for her calm composure, her intelligence on court, and the way she connects with fans, no one could have predicted what was about to unfold. What started as a normal match would quickly turn into a moment that shocked everyone watching and left a lasting mark on the tournament. As the match heated up, frustration began to creep in. A few errors, a few missed opportunities, and the weight of expectation seemed to press heavily on Iga's shoulders. The atmosphere at Queen's was already intense, and you could almost feel the pressure radiating off her as she battled not just her opponent but also her own emotions. And then, in a split second of pure frustration, it happened. Iga slammed the ball away, hitting it harder than she intended. To the horror of the crowd, the ball struck a young ball kid who was standing just a few steps away. Gasps immediately echoed through the stands. The stadium, which moments before was filled with cheers and applause, suddenly fell silent. All eyes shifted to the young ball kid, who winced and stepped back, clearly startled and in pain. The match came to a halt. Even her opponent looked on in shock, while the umpire quickly climbed down to check on the situation. The camera zoomed in on Iga, and you could see the instant realization and regret in her face. Her hands went to her mouth, her expression showing disbelief at what she had just done. For a player who has built a reputation on grace and sportsmanship, this was a nightmare scenario. Fans who adore her could barely process what had happened. Social media began to light up almost instantly with clips of the moment, many viewers struggling to believe that one of the sport's most composed champions had lost control in such a way. But in that very same moment, something else happened, something that revealed the human side of Iga Swiatek. She immediately rushed over to the young ball kid, her eyes filled with worry. She crouched down, speaking softly, apologizing over and over again. You could see the emotion in her face. This was not just a casual mistake to her, it was something that cut deeply. She extended her arm gently, checking if the child was all right, and the medical staff quickly arrived to ensure there was no serious injury. Thankfully, the ball kid was able to stand, though visibly shaken, and the crowd, relieved that it wasn't worse, gave a round of supportive applause. Iga's apology didn't stop there. Even after the ball kid was safely escorted off court for further checks, she remained visibly rattled. Her rhythm was gone, her emotions laid bare. She returned to the baseline, but the weight of what had just happened hung over her. Every fan in the stadium knew they had just witnessed something that would be talked about long after the match. Later that day, after her match was done, Iga addressed the incident publicly. Standing in front of the microphones, she didn't hide behind excuses, she didn't brush it off. Instead, she owned up to it completely. With her voice heavy and her eyes sincere, she expressed her deep regret. She explained how frustration got the better of her, how she had never intended to harm anyone, and how sorry she was to the young ball kid, their family, and the fans who were forced to witness such a frightening moment. Her honesty was raw, and you could feel the sincerity in every word she spoke. For many fans, that moment of accountability mattered just as much as the incident itself. Everyone makes mistakes, but the way you respond defines your character. Iga showed that even champions, even the best in the world, are human. They have emotions, they feel pressure, and sometimes they slip. What truly matters is how they come back from it, and in that sense, Iga's heartfelt apology turned a shocking moment into a reminder of humility. The incident continued to dominate conversation throughout the tournament. Clips of the moment circulated everywhere, sparking debates among fans, commentators, and analysts. Some argued that stricter rules should be in place when players lose control of the ball, while others defended Iga, pointing to her spotless track record and her immediate remorse. In the end, though, the overwhelming tone was one of forgiveness. People recognized that she had made a mistake, but they also recognized the courage it took to confront it head-on. In the days that followed, more details emerged. The young ball kid, thankfully, was unharmed and even released a short statement with their family saying that Iga had personally reached out to apologize again. That gesture spoke volumes, showing that her concern wasn't just for cameras or headlines, it was real. It was personal. She didn't just move on from the incident, she wanted to make things right. Looking back now, months after it happened, the moment remains one of the most dramatic and emotional episodes of that season. It's a reminder that even the strongest, most disciplined athletes can have moments of weakness. It's also a reminder that mistakes, no matter how public, can become opportunities for growth and connection. For Iga Swiatek, the Queen's Open incident will forever be remembered not just for the shock of what happened, but also for the way she handled the aftermath. She turned a painful situation into a lesson in humility, responsibility, and humanity. The image of her rushing toward that young ball kid, her face filled with concern, will stay in fans' memories just as much as her incredible victories. And so, when people now ask about unforgettable moments in tennis, not just the rallies or the trophies, but the human stories that go deeper, this incident comes up again and again. It wasn't about statistics or titles. It was about emotion, regret, and ultimately redemption. The Queen's crowd, the tennis world, and even casual fans who had never watched a full match before, all witnessed something raw and real. And that's why, even today, it still resonates. Months have passed, and Iga has moved forward with her career, continuing to inspire fans with her skill and determination. But the lesson from that day remains timeless. No matter how high you rise, no matter how much success you achieve, at the end of the day you're still human. And sometimes, it's in those human moments, mistakes and apologies, that we connect with athletes the most. This was the day when Iga Swiatek shocked everyone at the Queen's Open, when frustration got the better of her, when a young ball kid was accidentally hurt, and when she showed the world that even in error, there can be grace, honesty, and redemption.